Alright, what's up YouTube? So today I'm going to be making a wheelie tutorial for you guys, just to prove I can do it. I'm going to teach you guys how to do all this: drop back, swerve a little bit. Woo! This is the first wheelie of the day. No cops behind us, we're good to go. Alright guys, wheelies are not that hard. All it does is it's just time consuming, so you just gotta practice. So dirt bikes are probably the easiest in my opinion to wheelie, but we got a supermoto here. It's pretty much like a dirt bike, so all you really need to do is get good with that back brake and always cover it. I'm about to show you guys what to do. So you want to pop it up, and if you go a little too far back, lightly tap it down. You want to do that. The reason I'm saying lightly is because if you hit it too hard, like watch, I'm about to show you. You're in the wheelie, you're feeling good, you go a little too far back and you slam it, you go straight forward, you're gonna go over the bars. It happened to me, it's gonna happen to everybody. So you want to lightly tap, like put light pressure onto it. But throttle control, that's also really important. So whenever you pop it up, you want to smoothly get it up there. You don't want to go like this. I mean, it's a little different. 4 strokes, you want to be smooth in the wheelies. On 2 strokes, it's a little different. If I have a 2-stroke, I'll teach you guys a separate video on that. You got to do a bunch of that on a 2-stroke. So on a 4-stroke, if you're first learning, I would do it on a 4-stroke personally. And then if you want to wheelie 2-stroke, switch over. But if you have a 2-stroke, it's a little different. I'll make a whole separate video about that if I ever get a 2-stroke. Alright, so what you really want to do is you want to practice the rear brake control. Like, this is the most important part of the wheelie. So whenever you're wheeling and you go a little too far back, you give it light taps. That's what's going to help you wheelie. So your wheelies are probably going to look like this. You're probably going to chase them out. Like, that's alright. That's how everybody learns. So you probably want to go into 2nd to 3rd gear. That's just what works best for me. I'm in 2nd, I've switched to 3rd, and you guys probably don't have to do that. It depends on your bike, really. The DRZ doesn't have the most power, so I'll do it in 2nd, then switch to 3rd. So you want to, just pop it up and then bring it back down. You want to practice that motion of popping it up and bringing it back down. Up, hit the brake, go back down. And then like every time you do that, you'll get higher and higher and higher. So whenever you do that, you pop it up, you go really far back, lightly give it a tap, lightly give it a tap, and then that's how you're gonna learn. Also, whenever you wheelie, people don't talk about this. If you're too stiff, your bike is going to get like lost in the wind. It's gonna move around. Right now it's pretty wheelie, so it's pretty windy. So this is another thing people don't talk about. So you say you pop up your wheelie and you go straight to the left. That's all about you being stiff. If you're squeezing the bike as hard as you can and you're wheeling, you're probably gonna sway to sides that you don't want to go. So like, look, I'm gonna squeeze the bike with everything I got. See? You're gonna move. See, I just moved from that lane to that lane because of the wind. Whenever you wheelie, you cannot be stiff. I kind of squeeze my knees if I want to go straight, and if I start swerving, I'll move my body around the seat. If you're stiff, you're not gonna get very far in your wheelie, because what if there's a turn coming up? You gotta lean into that turn. Woo! Let's talk about balance point. So your balance point, you'll feel it. So like right here, that isn't balance point. That's one of those chase wheelies, power wheelies. So what you want to do is you want to get it up, hit that balance point. Right now I'm in that balance point. I'm going up and down from the balance point. So whenever your bike starts to scream, you want to go a little bit past balance point like that. So it can coast and take a break. Because if you're screaming your bike, that is not good for it. And if it's screaming really hard, switch up 1 gear. And that's usually good. So whenever you guys land your wheelies, give it gas when you land, so that whenever you land, it doesn't hit the ground so hard. So, you know, you can save your tires a little bit. So look, I'm gonna give you an example of that. You know, we're popping it up. This is third gear. Switch to fourth. We're going really fast. You want to give it gas whenever you go down, so that it's just a smoother landing. Because if you don't, it's gonna slap really hard, and you have a chance of going over the bars. Whenever you go past 12 o'clock, the bike gets very light. So like if you go past 12 o'clock and you're not on that brake, you're gonna fall. There's no doubt about it. Don't even try to lean. Always go for the brake. So look, whenever you pop it up and go past 12, it goes, it's a very light. Like the bike becomes super light. Past 12 o'clock, very light. I'm tapping the brakes so we don't loop out. Brake tap, brake tap. Now we're going very slow. If you want to slow down your wheelies, you got to go further back. There's one thing I have to tell you. Everybody falls. You're gonna fall one day. You know, it might be now, like when you first learn, or it might be later. For me, it was when I started getting really good. Like, so you know, I would pop up my wheelies, take them a little 12 o'clock, and I would forget about the brake, and I would just fall off. Straight back, we just fall. That was like not a good thing. So if you don't want that to happen, you want to pop it up. You go too far back, gently press those brakes, you come right back down. It's as simple as that. Yo! Is that on camera? Then when you start getting really comfortable with your wheelies, you want to go past balance point. That's where it gets a little tricky. You're gonna have to learn that. You know, that's how all those people do that 12 o'clock stuff. I'm about to teach you how. So, you know, you're wheeling, you want to go a little bit far back. So you go a little bit, tap that brake. When you go too far, tap it. See? Tap it, tap it, tap it again, and then boom, you're already 12 o'clock. I'm gonna set up the GoPro and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. I'm gonna go find a nice area, a little straight path. I'm gonna show you guys my wheelies. You know, don't get disappointed if you don't get it in one day. It took me a good while to learn them, so it's gonna be the same for everybody. It just takes time. Some people learn faster, some people learn slower. But one thing, you can't be scared. You know, you're gonna fall, it's gonna happen to everybody, so you just have to keep that in mind. So like, if you don't wanna fall, really focus on that back brake. When you go too far back, you give it a little tap. Alright, another thing people don't really say in their wheelies, what gear. That is very important. First gear, not the gear. Look, so you know, it just makes the engine scream. That's not a good gear. So second gear is a really good start gear because there's a lot of engine braking. So you know, if you go a little too far back, you know, it'll kind of help you go back down. So I usually do second gear to third gear because, you know, second gear has more torque, and then I switch into third. And third gear does not have that much engine braking, so that's really gonna teach you how to use your brakes. The more gears you go up, the less engine braking. I'm about to show you an example when we go over to this turn. I'm trying to go over all the things that YouTubers don't talk about. You know, they don't really talk about what gear to go into, so that's why I'm really trying to explain, because that was the hardest part for me. I was always in a smaller gear, like I was always in second gear, and I was scared to go into third because of all the engine braking. Watch. This is second gear, and now we're in third. So when you get in third, when you go a little too far back, all it does is coast. Third gear coasts a lot without the clutch. Look, my finger's off the clutch. You know, that's coasting. I'm giving it like no gas. So third gear is like the best gear in my opinion to wheelie in. If your bike doesn't pop up in third gear, go down to second, pop it up, switch to third. That's what I do. It works. Whenever you start getting comfortable with wheelies, you know, you can take a hand off, maybe take all your hands off. You know, the possibilities are endless with wheelies.
Bad bitch, and she thick as fuck. Drop it down and tell her pick it up. New phone, I'ma lift it up. Stick shit fast, switch it up.